Thank you so much, Brittany. Welcome back, folks. I'm joined by Mihir Maniar and Enrique Farfan to discuss how Dell Services can help you tackle security and operational complexities and more to maximize value at the edge. And let me give you guys your actual due, so we have your full titles here. Mihir right here is VP, Product Managing, Marketing, Infrastructure Services, Dell Technologies, and of course we have Enrique, and he's Senior Director, Product Management, Edge Services, Dell Technologies. Really great to have you guys here. Obviously, Edge is a
Same here, Madison.
Great
Pleasure meeting you.
Guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you for being in studio with us. Let's get right to it. Mihir, what about talking to customers? We hear that there's challenges out there. What challenges do the Edge customers see these days?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Edge is defined as the locations where volumes of data is produced and acted upon to create valuable insights for customers. And Edge is a highly fragmented set of verticals. You know, there's retail, manufacturing, energy, digital cities, and the list goes on. And so these different verticals have lots of different challenges from an edge standpoint, right? So think of location, of where the infrastructure is deployed, the connectivity, the environment in which the infrastructure is there, the security for it, the operational complexity to manage it, lots of different challenges. So I'll break it up into like 3 big challenges. The first one really revolves around how do you create a flexible design for these different verticals, which may have their own unique requirements, and they may have their own unique use cases they may want to enable. For instance, I'll give you an example, like retail stores are trying to create the smart store of the future, for instance. You saw that Gil present actually on stage at the keynote.
He was even here just a few minutes ago.
Just a few minutes ago, yeah, exactly. And so the examples over there for use cases are like loss prevention, inventory control, self-checkout, and so on, right? And so for those use cases, you need to design for the flexibility so that you can actually maximize revenue as well as customer experience for that particular vertical, which is retail in this case, right? And so on. So the design is the first challenge. The second challenge really comes down to operational complexity of how do you actually manage this infrastructure, this sprawl of infrastructure, right? So for instance, like if you have, again, a retail environment, you can have thousands of stores. So how do you go and deploy the infrastructure? How do you support that infrastructure when you may have zero IT on the stores? You may have a store manager and a few checkout folks, right? So you don't have any IT over there. So how do you actually support that remote infrastructure? How do you monitor these thousands of stores and proactively, decide if anything has failed? How do you manage the infrastructure? So lots of complexity in operational management of the sprawl of that verticalistic retail in this case. It's hard. And the third one really is around security. Before, these enterprises had to deal with data centers, clouds, and maybe the campus and branches. But now with the far edge, you have thousands of stores, so you're expanding the threat surface area for the attackers to get in. So you got to make sure these environments are all secure. So those are 3 big challenges that exist for retail environments.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a sprawling surface now. The attack surface is
exactly
huge. Insane. Coming over to you, Enrique, this is something too that I feel like needs even more attention because you're Dell Services. We're going to ask you to give me kind of an overview of Dell Services. I feel like services is the one thing that people truly need that a lot of times they forget about until they really need it, and they're like, oh my goodness, where's services? And can you give us an overview of?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dell's portfolio is really a comprehensive set of services for the edge, right? So what we really want is to aspire to be your trusted partner in your edge journey. Right? And in order to do that, it all starts with our consulting service. So what we bring to the table is a set of experts that will talk to you and your designers to come up with the edge solution that you're looking to achieve and to deploy it in a way that it satisfies your business outcomes, right? You're moving to the edge for a reason. If not, you would just keep your computer at the data center, right?
Exactly.
So if you're looking to do something very specific, we have experts that actually help you along those journeys. So once you're done with the design, the next step in the portfolio is to actually deploy your solution. So here the novelty is that we're actually expanding our ProDeploy suite with a new service. It's called ProDeploy Flex, which is specifically targeted to the edge. Right? And what ProDeploy Flex does is it's designed to target remote locations, right? Which is very typical of the edge. It's also designed to deal with extreme environments. Your edge environment is not going to be your data center environment. You're going to have different temperature requirements, for example. Some of them are even hazardous places to be in. So it takes a specific kind of deployment service to do that. Now the key to the deployment service is it also allows you, and you were alluding to Gil's previous visit here, to deploy the native edge solution, right? And with it, all the applications or workloads that you need to actually deliver your outcome at the edge, right?
And native at that. Native.
Exactly. So other feature of the ProDeploy service is actually its flexibility, right? And hence the name. So what we want to do is offer really options for delivery at the edge. So you could have some factory deployment combined with on-site deployment, or even have remote deployment. So it's really more of a menu where you choose in a flexible way what you need. Because if you think of the edge, you have tons of locations. I think Mihir was alluding before to the retail store, right? Suppose you have 1,000 retail stores. How do you do that, at a acceptable cost point and price point, right? So ProDeploy Flex is modular in nature, so you can cut and paste and pick the pieces that you really want in a service. Right?
Really, really cool. Again, choice seems to be the overall theme that we have in just every single session. It's like choice, choice, choice. We absolutely love it. Guys, we only have like 2 minutes left. I have a couple more questions for you. Let me ask you one more really quickly. The notion of I have here, it's the one single trusted partner. Can you tell us what that's about? What is this one single trusted partner concept?
So let me give you an example. I guess we just recently had an implementation at a large retail store chain, right, with more than 1,000 stores here in the US. And what we delivered for them is a set of multi-vendor services that allowed them to actually offload essentially the operation of the store to us, right? So if you think of a store, they ended up having more than 50 different types of devices and 7 vendors involved in the solution, right? So you can imagine the level of complexity. By having Dell coming on and with a single contract actually deliver all those multi-vendor services, it really removes the headache from your plate.
Less headache is always good. Now let's go one final question for you, Mihir.
Sure.
Can you tell us how the Dell Services for Edge is differentiated from the competition? Like what makes us different?
Yeah, I think in short, Dell has massive scale with the number of services professionals we have the expertise to handle edge deployments, and then a comprehensive set of services, which Enrique mentioned, all the way from support for these remote locations, on-site diagnosis, designing for flexibility with consulting resources, managing different sites, multi-vendor services. So we have a comprehensive suite of services that no one else has. And combined with the scale, we are unmatched.
Unmatched. You heard that here, right here, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for joining us today. You are watching Dell Technologies World 2023 live broadcast right here in Las Vegas. We'll be right back. Hang with us.